Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to build a guide to a life of purpose, and we're using the powerful and, yes, sometimes controversial ideas of author Robert Greene. Let's get right into it.
So we're kicking things off with a really provocative idea from Greene that just flips our whole modern obsession with comfort right on its head. He's basically arguing that our constant need to avoid stress, it's a trap. The real danger to your potential isn't the pressure, it's having no pressure at all.
So why does Greene champion pressure? Why is he so into this idea? Well, it's because he sees it as way more than just a challenge. He thinks it's the fundamental ingredient our brains need to function, to adapt, and ultimately to grow.
He frames it kind of like this. On one hand, you have stress. When it's tied to a mission, something you actually care about, it's the fuel for growth. It focuses your mind, forces you to adapt. But boredom, a life without any challenge, that, to him, leads to the slow, internal death of your potential. For Greene, he'd much rather die from the stress of his work than from the sheer emptiness of having nothing to do.
Now, what's really interesting here is that this philosophy of his, it wasn't born in some library. It was literally forged through his own years of struggle, a time in his life he actually calls his wilderness years. This timeline just illustrates his journey perfectly. It looks long and kind of aimless, right? After college, he had no clear path, so he tried journalism. Then he just wanders through Europe, trying and failing to write novels. He even ends up in Hollywood. On the surface, it just looks like a string of dead ends. But underneath all that, something really crucial was happening with every single step.
And here's the crucial point. What looked like a total waste of time was actually him slowly and deliberately laying a foundation. Journalism, that taught him to write under pressure. His time in Hollywood, watching these powerful producers and agents, that was a masterclass in human dynamics. It laid the groundwork for laws like a court attention at all costs. Every failure, every odd job added another brick to the wall of his skills, getting him ready for the moment his big opportunity would finally arrive.
Okay, let's get into the science of this, because this brick-by-brick thing, it's not just a cute metaphor, it's actual neuroscience. We're talking about how this process literally changes who you are.
Greene points to the work of neuroscientists who've shown that when you focus, and I mean intensely focus, on picking up a skill, you're not just learning something. You are physically rewiring the matter in your brain. You're forming new connections that just were not there before.
This is the incredible takeaway, right? Something non-material, like your focused thoughts and your effort, creates tangible, real, material changes inside your head. You're literally building the physical infrastructure that will allow you to seize opportunities when they show up, just like Greene did when he finally sat down to write the 48 Laws of Power.
So once you've started building up your own foundation, how do you deal with the world? Your success also depends a lot on the people you decide to surround yourself with. And for this, Greene offers a really simple but powerful framework for reading a person's character.
He argues you should never judge people on how charming or smart they seem. You judge them on the strength of their character. And character, well, it always reveals itself under pressure. How do they handle criticism? Do they crumble when things get stressful? What about when they get a little bit of power? How do they act? And when things go wrong, do they take responsibility? That's the true measure of a person right there.
Now, Greene often speaks directly to young men, especially those who feel a bit lost in the modern world. He argues that their natural energy isn't the problem. It's all about how that energy is, or maybe isn't, being channeled. And he draws a really sharp distinction here. While so-called toxic masculinity, uncontrolled aggression, is obviously a real problem, Greene argues that those core masculine traits like ambition, competitiveness, and assertiveness, those are powerful forces that shouldn't just be dismissed as being inherently negative.
So the crucial point here is that these innate drives, they're not inherently bad. They become virtues when they're disciplined and channeled into something constructive. Self-control is a masculine virtue. Respecting others from a position of strength is a masculine virtue. Greene himself channeled his own aggression and energy into writing his books, basically exposing the dark side of human nature to help the rest of us navigate it.
Finally, Greene leaves us with one key principle for navigating the social world as you build your own path to mastery. And it's one of those things that sounds deceptively simple. Now, this isn't about being all secretive or manipulative just for the sake of it. It's really about understanding the nature of power and, probably most importantly, self-control. People who can't control their mouths, they give off this impression that they can't control anything else either. Silence, it often projects way more power and mystery than constant talking does. It kind of forces other people to reveal themselves, and it definitely prevents you from saying something you're going to regret later.
It's a fundamental discipline of power.
So, as we wrap this up, the question really turns back to you. The path to mastery, it's not a straight line. It's built slowly through pressure and focus, brick by brick. So armed with these ideas, what skills are you going to acquire and what is your foundation going to be?